when kids were building the drones, I thought that that was going to be like the peak of excitement, learning to build your own drone and to fly it on your own. For me, I thought that that was really interesting. But when the kids were actually doing it, uh, they weren't building their own drone. They were following steps to building a drone. And the steps were all laid out for them on paper. They didn't get much learning out of the actual building process. Even when we would talk about like why the motors had to be counterclockwise and clockwise for some of the motors, they didn't seem to care. It was, we have to put the ones with the red wires opposite of each other. And this year, by doing engineering design process, one of the things that we built was balloon cars. And as we were building these balloon cars, balloon powered cars, I saw a lot more kids into the process more. And that's what really surprised me is that, you know, we have these remote controlled drones that were flying up in the air and no one was really excited about it after building them. But as we were building these balloon powered cars with checkers for wheels and dowel rods and, you know, popsicle sticks, these kids were excited to go through the process of making their own, deciding what parts to use, what parts to leave out. And I even had a kid come into my classroom from last year who's like, why didn't we do this? Why didn't we ever do this? And I thought it was really interesting to see the difference in that it didn't take, you know, $500 drones to make these kids excited about learning. It took, you know, $6 worth of supplies and allowing them to do it on their own as opposed to just throwing some kit together. And then for me, that probably even the more exciting part was, you know, they go through this first process and they build them and they're like, oh, I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have done that. And as I'm watching them do it, it was like, okay, well, go through and do a redesign. You think you can do it better, then you need to try that. And watching the kids go through 3 and 4 different iterations of a balloon car was just exciting to me because they were realizing where the mistakes were. And then they draw another blueprint up for me. And the blueprints weren't anything like extensive, but they draw another blueprint up like, oh, I need to change this. And they would make the change and see how it worked. And that for me was the best part.